coming along today, David, to I guess, launch the upgrade of the trail, the upgrade of the car park, and this wonderful new viewing area that has all come our way, very fortunately. And look, I'd also like to acknowledge the work that Grant has done with his team in getting this all to happen. It took a while initially, but once we got going, it sort of went ahead full steam. And I'd also like to acknowledge Brenton and Ryan over there. Brenton's the trail developer, so we've worked with Brenton before. In fact, he helped us plan the original sort of walking trail we had here, and we learnt a lot about trail development from him, and we're very happy that he got the job to complete the project. Look, probably that's enough from me, though. David's show today, he wants to come along and say a few words about this and talk to you about the well, I guess thank you for what we've done. So I'll hand over to David. Thank you very much.
No worries, thank you, Alan. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're on the land of the Kaurna people today, and acknowledge their particular relationship with the natural environment. It's great to be down here at Marino, amongst friends, literally and metaphorically, I suppose, or literally a friends group and my friends, in my local electorate, in an area that I've got responsibility for as the State's Minister for Environment and Water. When we came up with the concept of Glenthorne National Park and creating or at least recognising a very large area of open space managed under one precinct model, it's something a little new for the Environment Department, but I absolutely wanted to make sure that those existing parks not only retained their identity within that management structure, but benefited from some of the uplift that was going to happen as part of this project. We got a good budget for Glenthorne, but I didn't want it just to be up there on Majors Road. It was really important to me that we spread that love, supported the friends groups that have been working for years and years in some of our other parks, Marino, Hallett Cove and O'Halloran Hill in particular, and enabled them to get the benefit of on-ground works, but also the promotion, the inevitable promotion that will come from creating a new national park, and all the eyes of those who are interested in conservation and the outdoors, really focusing on this part of the city for a season, and that's what I hope we've been able to do in each of the parks. I'm really pleased that we've been able to get assistance from the federal government, about 150,000, and match that in with a chunk of money from the state government as well through the department to actually do something quite special here at Marino, the car park, the trails, and then this lookout area as well. So I want to thank the Friends Group for being part of the designing and the planning and the imagining of this place and what it could be, but I also want to thank you for your work over many years. I visit many parks across our city and our state, and there are very few that are as well maintained and as weed free as Marino Conservation Park. Now, you probably don't think it's weed free, but you know what, it's all relative, and Marino Conservation Park is in great condition. So thank you for your work. Thanks to Grant and Jared and the Rangers for the support that you bring to this place, and Ryan and Brenton for your contribution from the business side of things, actually creating the trails and the on-site work. So don't want to say anything more than that. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for being part of Marino Conservation Park, and I have got absolutely every confidence that this bit of fire damage will probably end up being a silver lining for the restoration of the park's ecology in the next 2 to 3 years. Not overly pretty at the moment, but not bad for ecology going forward. So thank you, and let's have some morning tea, which is now afternoon tea.
Thank you, David. Thank you for that. Look, we've got another little ceremony we want to conduct here, and I'm going to get Barbara to come and say a few words, because this park became a conservation park back in, never sure whether it was 1989 or 1990, but round about then. And thanks to particularly the lobbying of Enid Robertson, who was an acknowledged environmentalist in the Adelaide area. So we've got a little memorial plaque that we want to unveil today, and I'm going to ask Barbara to please come forward and say a few words, because she knew Enid. I only met Enid in the very last years of her life, so Barbara's much better to talk about that. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope we don't all get blown away in the process. Enid was involved in this area before it became a park, because she and another botanist, Darryl Cranbull, came to actually survey the area. Now, Darryl was struck by the Acacia victoriae because it grows everywhere from southwestern Queensland right down through the Flinders and right down here. And at the time he saw it here, it was the most southerly known occurrence. So he was excited by that. Enid was a different sort of botanist. She was one who adopts what we call the botanist pose, which is head down, tail up. She was looking at the small things. She saw lots of native grasses, and she saw the heath, which was here last week. So between them, they convinced the government that it was time to make this a conservation park. So at the time she was working in the botany department at Adelaide University, where she was working as an offsider to a professor who was looking at seaweeds. But she'd had a long history of looking at native plants. Her grandfather, who was Edwin Ashby, started the collection of native plants up in Blackwood. That passed to her father, Kevin, I think it's Kevin. I had to check that. And he was the one who actually donated Witunga. So Witunga Botanic Park is part of the Ashby family history. Her aunt, Alison Ashby, was a very well-known and very good artist who painted native plants. She even went camping by herself through the wilds of Western Australia to do it. Now, Enid's father owned the area which was the top of, I get lost for words, Shepherd's Hill. There's a conservation park at Shepherd's Hill. The top end of that, he owned that. And Enid used to tell me that she helped him pull out grass trees there to make room for the cows. Now, that land passed to her aunt, Alison. She donated it to the National Trust, and that is now, I believe, Wataparinga. Enid then spent many years getting the native plants back into Wataparinga. After, as a child, she'd spent some time taking it out. So during that time, she developed the skills to help us recreate native vegetation. Eventually, she published a management plan for Witunga, which contains all the information that she learnt over the years, and it's a most useful piece of work that anybody can use. When this park was set up, Enid became a patron for the Friends. She guided us, she helped us, she cheered us up when things went wrong. She was the best sort of friend that we could have, and it's my honour to be here today to talk about somebody who was a friend to everybody, and I claim her as my friend as well. So I think that's all we need to say. It's an honour to have her name associated with this park for the years to come. Now, I think we have to lift a piece of fabric there, you and I.
Okay. So, Alan, you should come across as well. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'll read it out, shall I? Marino Conservation Park, an environmental treasure, is the site of the largest surviving stand of coastal heath along the Adelaide coastline, and it will be back. Enid Robertson, one of the first botanists to recognise the significance of Marino's heath and native grasses, was the guide and mentor of the Friends of Marino who now care for the park. Valet Enid Robertson.
It'll be a much quicker trip back to the park with the tailwind. So yeah, thank you all for coming again. We'll go back, and I believe there's some nibbles and morning tea, cake, coffee and tea.